Police in Michigan said on Sunday a man drove his vehicle through the front doors of a church and shot at least 10 people, killing 2 of them. The deadly attack on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints stunned this local resident in Grand Blanc, Michigan, about an hour's drive from Detroit.
Like the fact that my hands are shaking, like it's 10 minutes down the road from where I live, my home. That's insane.
The police chief said the shooter got out of his vehicle firing an assault-style weapon. Officials added that hundreds of people were in the church, which was set on fire when the vehicle smashed into it. The police chief identified the suspect as 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford from the nearby town of Burton. He said the suspect died at the scene in an exchange of fire with 2 officers who rushed to the church. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is informally known as the Mormon Church. U.S. President Donald Trump wrote on social media that he had been briefed on the shooting and characterized it as, quote, yet another targeted attack on Christians in the United States of America, and said the FBI was on the scene.
I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams dropped his re-election bid on Sunday in a nearly 9-minute-long video posted on X. His departure leaves Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani facing former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, running as an independent, as the frontrunners in the November 4th election. Adams, a former New York City police officer, had a brutally unpopular tenure in the heavily Democratic city. He had been indicted on federal corruption charges, which he denied.
I was wrongfully charged because I fought for this city.
Those charges were dropped by new leadership at the Department of Justice following the election of U.S. President Donald Trump. Recent polls had support for Adams' re-election in the single digits, trailing far behind Mamdani and Cuomo. In his video on Sunday, Adams did not endorse either candidate and took swipes at both. Mamdani, who holds a sizable lead, is a self-described democratic socialist. He has alarmed much of the New York business community and some within the Democratic Party with his leftist views. The fear among Mamdani's critics had been that Adams and Cuomo would split the opposition vote, giving Mamdani an easy victory. Trump, who had previously warned about the consequences of a Mamdani win and suggested Adams pull out of the race, said Sunday he welcomed the decision. Adams said he will finish out his term, which ends on January 1st, 2026.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch, pinch.
Pinch time.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches.
Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close, or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta, or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks ended higher on Friday, with the Dow gaining roughly 0.2%, the S&P 500 climbing about 0.6%, and the Nasdaq adding more than 0.4%. The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index showed inflation ticked up a bit in August, pushing the annual inflation rate to 2.7%, which was in line with expectations. Meanwhile, solid U.S. consumer spending in August underscored the economy's resilience. But Brad Bernstein, managing director at UBS Private Wealth Management, said consumer spending is a story of what he called the haves and have-nots.
50% of consumer spending is coming from just 10% of the population, the top 10% income earners. So as we're starting to see some cracks in auto loans and certain areas in the economy that are representative of the more subprime or maybe creeping in a little bit of the prime lending rate categories, the high income earners, the top 10%, especially the top 1%, make up the vast majority of consumer spending, and that area considers to outperform. And that's what's driving the economy.
Stocks on the move Friday included Electronic Arts, which jumped almost 15% after reports that the company was in advanced talks to go private. Shares of truck maker PACCAR, which makes most of its vehicles for the U.S. market domestically, rose more than 5% a day after President Trump unveiled fresh import tariffs on heavy-duty trucks. Trump also slapped tariffs on branded pharmaceutical products. Shares of U.S. drug maker Eli Lilly closed higher. And 5 out of the Magnificent 7 mega-cap tech stocks closed higher, with Tesla leading the pack with a 4% gain.
All right, it's still the end of September, right? Here's your forecast. Sunshine and a few afternoon clouds. Very warm today, a high of 80. Few clouds tonight with lows in the mid-50s. Tuesday, partly cloudy, low 80s. Wednesday, the 1st of October, sunshine and low 70s. Thursday, partly cloudy, low 70s. Friday, partly cloudy, mid-70s. And we're right back into the 80s this weekend and the start of next week, perhaps. Now, next week, as we're really into October, we'll shift back to where it's maybe a little more normal, like 60s. So enjoy this weather. It's with us for another week plus. So about 15 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Monday.
Starting your day with Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill. Get you up and get you going. It's Luke and Amy on the Morning Drill.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. If you're out driving this morning, be careful. A bit foggy in some spots here this morning. Yeah. But other than that, coming off a pretty busy weekend, beautiful weekend, a lot going on. And we had a homecoming to wrap up last week. So Friday was a big night, the high school football game.
Busy.
I was on the road Saturday. Hey, you were as well. We were we were same direction, but just two different areas.
Destinations.
Yes, well said. So that was fun. And then we got back in time, and our youngest went off to a homecoming dance, and we tried to stay awake to watch a movie and kept dozing off.
Yeah.
No. Busy weekend. Steelers over in Dublin.
Yeah.
Had a big win.
I saw that.
Yeah, congrats.
Our oldest was disappointed because, well, not disappointed. He was excited over the win, but it was kind of a roller coaster.
I saw a couple of videos, people posting of Renegade playing.
Yeah.
And the crowd getting into it. So that was cool. We'll go through the winners in just a moment, in case you missed that over the weekend or just can't get enough football information. We'll have that for you. Ryder Cup took place. I was kind of following along a little bit on Friday. We were busy Friday getting ready for the game, but the U.S. did not do well until yesterday, and it was they mounted a comeback, and then somebody popped the balloon. So the Europeans, a big winner at the Ryder Cup. Congratulations. Man, we had some talented golfers, too, and we just crumbled.
Sorry.
But, oh well. baseball, we can mention some of the scores there. Yeah, it's just hockey season's here. And
This is where it all kind of blends together.
yeah, it's quite busy. You're going to be talking basketball. So yesterday, you had the Giants beating the Rockies 4-0. This is Major League Baseball. Phillies over the Twins 2-1 in 10 innings of play. White Sox beat the Nationals 8-0. Oh, fan base looking to reach out to you this morning, huh? The Royals with the 9-2 win over the A's. Yankees beat the Orioles 3-2. Red Sox over the Tigers 4-3. Blue Jays pounded the Rays 13-4. Astros beat the Angels 6-2. Marlins beat the Mets 4-0. Padres with the 12-4 win over the Diamondbacks. Dodgers beat the Mariners 6-1. Reds fell to the Brewers 4-2. Cleveland with the win over the Rangers in 10, 9-8. The Braves beat the Pirates 4-1. Cubs over the Cardinals 2-0. We can go through the standings real quick, but next set of games will begin on Tuesday, the 30th, with the wild card game between the Guardians and Tigers in Cleveland. The Cubs hosting the Padres, Yankees hosting the Red Sox, and Dodgers hosting the Reds. Wild card gets underway on Tuesday. So, yeah, in American League, for wild card, you're looking at Yankees, Boston, and Detroit. And then wild card spots in the National League, the Cubs, San Diego, and Cincinnati. So there you have it. As the postseason is here for baseball. I go to NFL, and we can go through the games from yesterday and what the schedule's like for tonight for Monday Night Football. The Steelers beat the Vikings 24-21. Texans with the win over the Titans 26-0. The final there, and why did I lose everything?
Because it's Monday. Well, what do you expect?
Wow, I did. I lost everything.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Do you want me to do birthdays and what we're celebrating?
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, here we go. Texans over Titans 26-0. Eagles beat the Buccaneers 31-25. Giants, a little surprise there with the win over the Chargers, 21-18. Patriots beat the Panthers 42-13. Lions pounded the Browns 34-10. Bills over the Saints 31-19. Falcons with the win over the Commanders 34-27. Jaguars beat the 49ers 26-21. Rams over the Colts 27-20. Bears beat the Raiders 25-24. Chiefs over the Ravens. Ravens not looking good. They're not very healthy. They keep losing people, especially on defense. 37-20 the final there as Kansas City finally started to look like Kansas City. And last night, Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys and the Packers ended in a tie, 40-40. Yeah. How about that? Tonight, you got the Jets playing in Miami, taking on the Dolphins. Both teams are 0-3. And then the Bengals will be on the road taking on the Denver Broncos tonight. Bengals are 2-1. Broncos are 1-2. ESPN will have the Jets Dolphins at 7:15. Bengals Broncos will be on ABC at 8:15. So, doubleheader tonight for Monday Night Football. The Steelers, by the way, are number one in the AFC North with a record of 3-1, followed by Cincinnati at 2-1. Baltimore's 1-3. Cleveland 1-3.
Yeah. Don't get too excited.
I know, but I'm just saying, you know.
The minute we're like, oh, yeah.
Just like, the people that were like, oh, yeah, no, you're going to have Baltimore, Cincinnati,
Probably Cleveland and then Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Haters gonna hate.
Well,
that's all.
I don't know. At least the Steelers looked better this week. So we'll go with that, all right? They're getting better. These other teams seem to be getting worse and sustaining, like, major injuries. So,
Oof.
And then there's Cleveland. And they're just Cleveland. Sorry to the Cleveland fan base. And they know it. They know it. Okay, we can get into birthdays and what we're celebrating if you'd like.
Okay, you ready?
What says the 29th day of September?
It
says
is.
We only have, what, today and tomorrow?
Yeah, that would be correct, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't want to think about it, but yes, that is correct.
Okay, happy birthday to who today?
All right, actor Ian McShane is 83 today.
Why does that name sound familiar? I would know. Oh,
Blackbeard.
Yeah, from
There
Pirates.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something.
Pottersville.
There you go.
Yes.
That too.
I was like, all right, go ahead.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Comedian Andrew Dice Clay is 68. Actress Chrissy Metz is 45. Actress Kelly McCreary is 44. Singer Halsey is 31. And that is all.
All right. Happy birthday to all of them. And happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us here today. Let's find out what it is we're celebrating on this 29th day of September.
Okay, it is Confucius Day, International Day of Awareness of Food Loss and Waste, Michaelmas, National Biscotti Day, National Coffee Day.
Yeah.
National Goose Day, National Police Remembrance Day, National Silent Movie Day, National Starbucks Day, VFW Day, World Heart Day, and that's it.
National Coffee Day.
It is National Coffee Day.
All right. You better have that coffee going all day then.
Got it.
I usually just do 1 cup, but I might have to do a little extra today. Just in celebration of National Coffee Day.
Do 1.5.
I might do 1.5 cups.
There you go.
All right. The other thing, what was the thing about leaving food or not leaving food?
It's like food loss awareness.
So this morning, I may or may not have had a fortune cookie that was lying around the studio. Yeah, so here's the disappointing part of that. There's no fortune in it. Unless I dropped it somewhere. But yeah, no fortune in the fortune cookie I ate this morning. Is that a sign? Is that bad?
I don't know. It was so funny.
I didn't want to waste it, and it looked good. I was hungry.
How old was it?
From Saturday.
Oh. It was.
It wasn't like I found a fortune cookie behind the wall.
Yeah, like that was what I was thinking. I'm like,
yeah, no. I would no.
When you were on the road Saturday.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. On the way home, we stopped off and. Anyways, I had an extra fortune cookie, and it was on the table. And I'm like, well, that sounds kind of good, and I'll kind of get a fortune for today, so it'll set my day. No fortune in the fortune cookie.
I'm so
very
sorry.
disappointed in it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I'm kind of, I don't know what to think. If you think I just like find food on the floor and eat it, or...
Listen, I was getting a little bit nervous. That's all. It's just Monday.
Have I ever done that in the past?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Just randomly?
I can't answer that with confidence.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Where'd you get that? Oh, behind the couch.
There's only a little bit of dirt on
I must
it.
have dropped a Dorito behind the couch last week. I picked it up and
I
ate
think one of the most terrifying things to me was it's a long time ago. We were trying to get ready to go on a vacation. So we were having our vehicle cleaned like really, really well. It was like we had a Sienna and our kids were younger, and in the tracks of the seat, we pushed the seat all the way back to clean out the tracks, and there was a chicken nugget in there. Now, that chicken nugget had to have been there for years. it looked the same as it did when it would have been purchased. That was terrifying. How about no more chicken nuggets?
Was it hard not to take a bite? Just to see
No, it
what
was not at all hard not
Okay.
to take a bite. It was terrifying that it looked normal.
Okay. Well, French fries can be like that. Fruit Loops. I think they also found a bunch of Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Yeah. And they weren't growing anything, so that's like,
Bugs won't even eat it, so
Nope.
why are we?
Yeah, no mold. I think they did like somebody showed something where they laid out like an ice cream sandwich to show that it really wasn't, because it took a long time for it to actually melt.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
The ones I eat melt like
I know.
that. I see. I can't believe you'd even question whether I would, before, put it in my mouth. Like, yeah, I wouldn't eat it off. I mean, I check the milk. Like, if milk is close to expiring, I start to like mentally think, okay, is this going to be good? Even if I smell it, it's like I think it smells good. That date throws me off. Like, this is telling me that that should be expired, but that date is not.
It's not a hard fast.
No. But mentally, it messes with me. So you think I'm just going to eat a chip off the the ground?
I'm tired. Wouldn't put it past you.
Wow. Okay.
Depends on the chip.
We've got the latest headlines coming up here this morning. I will, while we're doing the news, I'll look for something else on the ground to eat. So,
I might just test you later.
Put
a peanut M&M down. Can you?
I
pass it
have
up?
actual peanut M&Ms,
I know.
the Halloween ones in my office, but they're in a plastic container. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, you go for it. I'll be okay.
All right, fine.
All right. We have your headlines coming up. If you're driving this morning, northwest Pennsylvania, do be careful. Could be foggy in low-lying areas. But going to be a warm day today, high in the low 80s. Wow. All right, your headlines are coming up next.
I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams dropped his re-election bid on Sunday in a nearly 9-minute-long video posted on X. His departure leaves Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani facing former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, running as an independent, as the frontrunners in the November 4th election. Adams, a former New York City police officer, had a brutally unpopular tenure in the heavily Democratic city. He had been indicted on federal corruption charges, which he denied.
I was wrongfully charged because I fought for this city.
Those charges were dropped by new leadership at the Department of Justice following the election of U.S. President Donald Trump. Recent polls had support for Adams' re-election in the single digits, trailing far behind Mamdani and Cuomo. In his video on Sunday, Adams did not endorse either candidate and took swipes at both. Mamdani, who holds a sizable lead, is a self-described democratic socialist. He has alarmed much of the New York business community and some within the Democratic Party with his leftist views. The fear among Mamdani's critics had been that Adams and Cuomo would split the opposition vote, giving Mamdani an easy victory. Trump, who had previously warned about the consequences of a Mamdani win and suggested Adams pull out of the race, said Sunday he welcomed the decision. Adams said he will finish out his term, which ends on January 1st, 2026.
There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Any federal takeover with military troops in our state is a threat to communities across Oregon. It violates our right to govern ourselves. It interferes with local law enforcement's ability to fulfill their mission. And frankly, it drains taxpayer resources that could be better spent elsewhere. I believe the president does not have the authority to deploy federal troops on state soil. I'm coordinating with Attorney General Dan Rayfield to see if any response is necessary, and we will be prepared to respond if we have to.
Residents in Kyiv awoke to booming explosions and blaring emergency sirens as Russia launched one of its most sustained attacks on the Ukrainian capital in the war. It killed several people, authorities said, and damaged homes and a hospital. Footage from state emergency services showed firefighters saving people from burning buildings, while residents took shelter in underground metro stations following updates on the attack on their mobile phones. Parts of a cardiology hospital were severely burnt. Kyiv's mayor said it was hit by a drone strike. Some residential areas were left in ruins, with people facing a large-scale cleanup of the debris. Ukraine's military said Russia sent more than 590 drones and nearly 50 missiles across the country overnight, but that its air defenses shot down most of them. The military said the main target of the strike was Kyiv. The attack also prompted neighboring Poland to close its nearby airspace and scramble Air Force jets until the danger had passed. President Volodymyr Zelensky said it lasted more than 12 hours and struck several regions, including the southern city of Zaporizhia. Footage from there showed bloodied civilians and destroyed homes. This 80-year-old woman said she almost suffocated from the smoke after a fire broke out when her building was hit.
It was smoky. I started to go down, and a neighbor from above ran downstairs with a flashlight, so I followed him. If I had not, I would have died there.
Zelensky renewed calls on the international community to cut off Russia's energy revenues that fund its invasion. Ukraine has so far failed to convince US President Donald Trump to hit Moscow with punitive sanctions. On the Telegram messaging app, he said, quote, "The time for decisive action is long overdue, and we count on a strong response from the United States, Europe, the G7 and the G20. Independent monitors said the latest bombardment was one of the biggest Russian attacks on Kyiv and its surrounding region since Moscow launched its full-scale war in 2022. Russia's defense ministry said on Sunday it had carried out a massive strike on Ukraine, hitting military airfields and other facilities. Moscow has denied targeting civilians in its war in Ukraine, although thousands have been killed and residential areas extensively damaged by its attacks.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Discover unforgettable savings of over $8,000 off your next Chevy truck at Community Chevrolet's September to Remember sales event.
It's like the saying goes, a golden retriever never forgets.
I'm not sure you have that right, Clark. You might want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. What's truly memorable is Community's savings this month of more than $8,000 off a 2025 Silverado and nearly $5,000 off top SUVs like the Tahoe. So don't forget about the September to Remember sales event this month only at Community Chevrolet.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable. Like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born breech, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
I'm Ben Leach, Republican nominee for Magisterial District Judge, reminding you to get out and vote Tuesday, November 4th. As the only candidate with over 13 years of real courtroom experience and a dedicated career in the justice system, I've consistently demonstrated the ability to remain fair and impartial. As I continue my lifelong dedication to serving our community, I strive to be the kind of leader our citizens deserve. On November 4th, vote with confidence for a candidate who is qualified day one, bringing the experience needed to serve as your next Magisterial District Judge.
U.S. stocks ended higher on Friday, with the Dow gaining roughly 0.2%, the S&P 500 climbing about 0.6%, and the Nasdaq adding more than 0.4%. The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index showed inflation ticked up a bit in August, pushing the annual inflation rate to 2.7%, which was in line with expectations. Meanwhile, solid U.S. consumer spending in August underscored the economy's resilience. But Brad Bernstein, managing director at UBS Private Wealth Management, said consumer spending is a story of what he called the haves and have-nots.
50% of consumer spending is coming from just 10% of the population, the top 10% income earners. So as we're starting to see some cracks in auto loans and certain areas in the economy that are representative of the more subprime or maybe creeping in a little bit of the prime lending rate categories, the high income earners, the top 10%, especially the top 1%, make up the vast majority of consumer spending, and that area considers to outperform. And that's what's driving the economy.
Stocks on the move Friday included Electronic Arts, which jumped almost 15% after reports that the company was in advanced talks to go private. Shares of truck maker PACCAR, which makes most of its vehicles for the U.S. market domestically, rose more than 5% a day after President Trump unveiled fresh import tariffs on heavy-duty trucks. Trump also slapped tariffs on branded pharmaceutical products. Shares of U.S. drug maker Eli Lilly closed higher. And 5 out of the Magnificent 7 mega-cap tech stocks closed higher, with Tesla leading the pack with a 4% gain.
We have a really bullish setup into the end of the year. We have a bull market, clearly, for the last few years. We have a Fed that just started a rate cutting cycle. Historically, when the Fed starts cutting interest rates, when the S&P is within 1% of an all-time high, the prior 12 times that this occurred, the market 12 months later was up all 12 out of 12 with a double-digit average return. So it's a very positive setup. Corporate earnings start in 2 weeks. We see earnings up 8-9%. That they were an incredible story in the previous quarter that the vast majority not only beat but had outstanding guidance. And earnings are really the big story this year. Economic data, we continue to see consumer spending better than expected. We continue to see income better than expected. And as long as the Fed continues to cut, which we see them cutting 3 more times between now and the first quarter, and then you add in FOMO, which will happen, which always happens in the fourth quarter, fear of missing out on this year, as well as the fact that there's $7.5 trillion in cash that are seeing their rates going down right now every day because the Fed just started cutting rates. All of this will lead, we believe, and I believe, into really a nice year end into the fourth quarter. Today, we're seeing in the markets a positive reaction to the PCE data this morning that came out at 8:30. That is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. Not only was month over month and year over year in line with estimates, but consumer spending and personal income were higher than estimates, which are very important for the overall economy. Is it a little sticky and a little hotter than ideally where the Fed would like to be on their mandate? Yes, but does it have a 2 handle in it on the year over year number? It does. And that allows the Fed to continue to be able to cut, which we can see right now, real time. Markets are still pricing in 2 cuts before the end of the year. So it's not ideal. It's not close to 2, and we may never get there. However, it doesn't matter for the Fed to be able to continue its new cycle of rate cuts that began last week.
U.S. inflation is picking up, according to data out Friday, making the Federal Reserve's path on interest rates a little more complicated. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, ticked up 0.3% in August, in line with estimates. That put the annual inflation rate at 2.7%, the biggest yearly increase since February. Core inflation, which strips out food and energy, remained stuck at an annual rate of 2.9%. The Fed tracks the PCE index closely as it aims to lower inflation to an annual rate of 2%. Meanwhile, American consumers are still spending, and that's keeping U.S. economic growth on track. The Commerce Department says spending jumped 0.6% in August, beating forecasts. Signs of the economy's resilience were evident in other data this week, showing low layoff numbers and strong demand by businesses for equipment, leading some economists to argue against the need for another interest rate cut this year from the Fed. Still, traders on Friday were pricing in a roughly 88% chance of a rate cut in October, according to CME's FedWatch tool.
South Korea is unable to pay $350 billion up front in investment in the United States as part of a tariff deal with President Donald Trump. That's according to the South Korean National Security Advisor, who said on Saturday the country is seeking an alternative solution. The two allies agreed on a deal in July that would cut U.S. tariffs on South Korean goods to 15% from the 25% Trump earlier imposed. Seoul pledged $350 billion towards U.S. projects and said it would come in the form of loans, loan guarantees and equity. But in remarks this week, Trump said South Korea would provide the investment up front, despite its contention that kind of outlay could plunge Asia's fourth largest economy into a financial crisis. On a South Korean TV news program, National Security Advisor Wi Song-lak said the sum is, objectively and realistically, not a level we are able to handle. Wi, who is the top security advisor to President Lee Jae-myung, said alternatives are being discussed and that Seoul aims to finalize the trade deal with Washington during next month's summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Grouping. South Korea is hosting the APEC gathering, which Trump is expected to attend.
From Trump's latest tariffs to his issue with Tylenol, this is the week in numbers. 100% tariffs on imported branded drugs was part of the latest barrage of tariffs announced by Donald Trump. He also applied 25% levies on heavy-duty trucks, with the latest salvo due to come into force at the beginning of October. Trump says he wants to protect the U.S. manufacturing industry and national security. 35 million Amazon Prime customers are set to get money back from Amazon. That's after the Federal Trade Commission ruled the company had duped customers to generate subscriptions. It ordered Amazon to cough up $2.5 billion in penalties. 12% was how much Ørsted shares rose by after a U.S. federal judge ruled the energy firm can resume work on the almost completed Revolution Wind project. Trump's administration had stopped the scheme last month. The Danish offshore wind power developer has lost $2 million a day since August, when the project was halted. $14 billion is how much US Vice President J.D. Vance said TikTok is worth, putting a price tag on the short video app for the first time.
And here's your final copy. TikTok.
Trump signed an executive order declaring that his plan to sell TikTok's US operations to US and global investors will address the national security requirements in a 2024 law. It's amid efforts to extract TikTok's US assets from the global platform and win approval from the Chinese government. Trump said Chinese President Xi Jinping agreed to the deal.
I spoke with President Xi. We had a good talk. I told him what we were doing, and he said, go ahead with it.
Shares of Tylenol maker Kenvue rose as much as 7%, rebounding from a record low. That's after investors shrugged off unproven claims from Donald Trump, linking the popular pain reliever to autism. Trump had connected autism to the use of Tylenol by pregnant women, elevating claims that are not supported by scientific evidence.
From the home stretch for markets to the future of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, these are the stories to watch in business and finance in the coming week. After a remarkable year for markets, traders are entering the last quarter with a semi-warning from Fed Chief Jerome Powell about high stock market valuations. World stocks are now up close to 17% in 2025, although gold and Chinese tech remain the biggest winners, both adding almost 40%. A series of key events are still to come before year-end. The Fed is expected to move again. China holds its plenum gathering of top party leaders, and U.S. President Donald Trump and China's President Xi Jinping are expected to get together at some point. There are also IMF World Bank meetings and a UN climate summit to look forward to. U.S. jobs data is due October 3rd. The numbers are one piece of key data ahead of the Fed meeting at the end of October. Expectations are high for another rate cut, but a hot jobs number could scuttle that, if the data is released at all. The U.S. federal government could be heading for a partial shutdown, raising concerns the data will not be announced as scheduled. Early October could be pivotal for the path of Bank of Japan policy, with the Tankan survey of corporate sentiment out Wednesday. The closely watched economic indicator has garnered additional attention after a policy board member called September's edition extremely important in a speech last month. Markets are already pondering the odds of an October hike after September's hawkish pivot. A duty-free trade agreement between the United States and eligible African nations is set to lapse on Tuesday. The African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, offers more than 30 African economies a key market for their exports. Lobbying efforts have not elicited any formal commitments from U.S. officials, compounding the situation for a region that is already reeling from Trump's imposition of trade tariffs.
All right, sunny to partly cloudy skies today, very warm, high of 80, partly cloudy skies tonight, and lows in the low 50s. Tuesday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Wednesday, the first day of October, looking at sunshine and low 70s. Thursday, partly cloudy, low 70s. Friday, partly cloudy, mid 70s. If we take a look into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're right back into the 80s with sunshine. So this weekend, looking really good as we begin October here on Wednesday. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:54. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Yeah, how about these temperatures? And again, just beautiful, beautiful weather. Sunshine. I'm trying to see here. The only hint of rain is showing for the 11th of October. So, yeah. Again, that doesn't mean something's not going to change or could change later today, but that extended forecast looking pretty good. So, the leaves are coming down quickly. Notice that.
Yeah, they are.
If it could just stay this way. That was funny because we both went south on Saturday, and the leaves weren't. They were just starting to change. Like I was south of Pittsburgh into West Virginia, and they weren't quite. Some of them were starting to change, but they weren't quite what we're seeing up here. So up here, it's still absolutely just beautiful. I've seen like a lot of people have been posting pictures and video clips of things, and yeah, it's nice. It's not. I wish those leaves could just stay on those colors for like a couple months.
Oh yeah,
like that would be perfect. Don't you think?
It would. It would.
I have this feeling. I know Apple Fest weekend's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Autumn Leaf Festival had to be adjusted in Clarion, so now it's later in October, towards the end of the month. And Autumn Leaf Festival, they're going to be celebrating all the leaves on the ground.
Yeah.
So
don't break them up.
Yeah, keep them on the ground. I wonder they'll get something in their water bill.
We'll do it like they did for the Halloween movie, the original. Break up the leaves after every shoot, lay them back down again.
Yeah. Well, they'd rake them up from other areas and ship them in. And
isn't that funny?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what time of year you're shooting a movie. It's hard to get pumpkins certain times of the year. And
that's true.
So, by the way, I know we have to. I feel so much better. We got more of the outdoor decorating done.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot better about that. But I think now it's time. We've been to a spot that's been selling these huge pumpkins for like $5-6.
Yeah.
So I know we need to get a couple of those. I just saw a picture.
We need to do the tally though, because we have a tradition of our last soccer Sunday. A group of our refs will come, and I have to figure out how many wraps we're going to have to make sure we have enough pumpkins.
I saw a picture this morning. It was a shot of, I'm going to merge pumpkins and Halloween here, the movie Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
This is like two shots. The top one was Jamie Lee Curtis with the kids from the original Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And then her with older kids from the newer movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, 40 years and Jamie Lee Curtis still doesn't know how to carve a pumpkin. Because both pumpkins didn't look very good. But
that's funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure she was the one to carve it, but what do I know? Some of those kits you can get are pretty impressive. I think there's
like the artsy.
Yeah, there's times where like I've gotten a pencil or a marker or something and tried to outline. I can't draw, but I do the eyes, the nose, or how I want the mouth. And then I start to carve it. I'm like, okay, this is not going well. So it ends up being something else. But I'm not very creative or artsy when it comes to carving a pumpkin. We should get some for here.
We should.
Now, you're more artsy. I don't know, but do you enjoy carving a pumpkin, or is it?
No, I like carving the pumpkin.
Do you stencil it out, or what do you do?
It depends on like what I'm going for. I'll draw it out if I want to be a little more artistic. But I used to do it where would do when I was younger. I think I've done this for our kids too, just to take a wire, write their name in cursive on the back, and then take the wire and kind of run it through. So when it shines, it's a really cool look. But I haven't done that for a while. Because I think their pumpkins, now that they manage the knife themselves, it's all them, 100%, They draw it, they carve it, it's theirs.
Yeah.
I don't want to... I have a tendency to overtake.
No, not you.
Right?
Not you.
Shocking.
Not at all. Let them do it themselves.
So I don't want to overtake their pumpkins.
Yeah. You get very competitive, even at pumpkin carving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Here's
look.
my pumpkin. Woo.
Is that yours? Is that what you're going for this
year?
year?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for.
All right. Best of luck.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville. Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733. For over 30 years, J. Gill Plumbing and Heating has taken pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. Our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. And with the J. Gill Service membership, you can take advantage of additional benefits like filter replacements and priority service scheduling. Plus, members get 10% off future projects. Call today to get a free estimate or ask about financing options. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online at jgillplumbingheating.com. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom, ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
211 is a simple telephone number to remember when you don't know where to go for help. Dial 211 when needing to find health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. It's free and confidential, and you'll have access to thousands of programs and services for emergency and non-emergency situations. Visit pa211nw.org to learn more, and remember, help is available by calling 211.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
U.S. stocks ended higher on Friday, with the Dow gaining roughly 0.2%, the S&P 500 climbing about 0.6%, and the Nasdaq adding more than 0.4%. The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index showed inflation ticked up a bit in August, pushing the annual inflation rate to 2.7%, which was in line with expectations. Meanwhile, solid U.S. consumer spending in August underscored the economy's resilience. But Brad Bernstein, managing director at UBS Private Wealth Management, said consumer spending is a story of what he called the haves and have-nots.
50% of consumer spending is coming from just 10% of the population, the top 10% income earners. So as we're starting to see some cracks in auto loans and certain areas in the economy that are representative of the more subprime or maybe creeping in a little bit of the prime lending rate categories, the high income earners, the top 10%, especially the top 1%, make up the vast majority of consumer spending, and that area considers to outperform. And that's what's driving the economy.
Stocks on the move Friday included Electronic Arts, which jumped almost 15% after reports that the company was in advanced talks to go private. Shares of truck maker PACCAR, which makes most of its vehicles for the U.S. market domestically, rose more than 5% a day after President Trump unveiled fresh import tariffs on heavy-duty trucks. Trump also slapped tariffs on branded pharmaceutical products. Shares of U.S. drug maker Eli Lilly closed higher. And 5 out of the Magnificent 7 megacap tech stocks closed higher, with Tesla leading the pack with a 4% gain.
Well, excited to catch up with our next guest this morning. It's been a little while. Mr. Ron Arnold joins us. Ron, good morning. Good to see you.
Hi, it's nice to be back.
Yeah. You'll have to catch us up on what you've been doing, and there's been a change in careers. You'll have to tell us all about that.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm here on behalf of the Suicide Task Force. I'm still involved with them heavily. I had worked for Crawford County Human Services for close to 20 years, about 19 and a half, and the opportunity came up for me to kind of retire from there. And I found a position at Allegheny College that sort of plays to my community ties. So I'm now the Assistant Director of Student and Community Outreach there. Very enjoyable job, but I went from the guy that knew a lot of stuff to the guy that's learning things all over again. And it's been a challenge, but I'm enjoying it.
That's great.
So,
well, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
And everything you've done for the county and the stuff that you continue to do. You mentioned the Suicide Task Force, and what an important organization to have in our county. Give us a quick recap for those, again, who might not be familiar with what that is and who you serve. Tell us a little bit about the task force.
The Crawford County Suicide Task Force actually started out of, I guess, a higher profile suicide that happened with a student. And the county wanted to do something to help with the fallout of it, the emotional fallout. So going into the schools, talking to students, talking to friends, teachers, families, things like that. And the county decided that they would like to see a task force. So they started a suicide task force to support young people and to do a lot of suicide prevention work, but also to offer that safe place to land after something like this has occurred. Because the grief of suicide and the questions that come with it are very different than just a person passing, say, of natural causes.
Yeah.
Right? So that started, wow, it's probably been 15, 16 years now that it's been going. And the structure of it is set up that we have like an executive board and members at large. And we want to make it a community thing. It's easy to get mental health professionals involved, schools involved, things like that, but we'd like to get more community people involved, because in the end, it's your friends and family and the people that love you that are going to offer the support to you that you need in the long term, so that maybe suicide doesn't seem like the best option to you.
We've had a lot of great conversations over the years. This isn't something that just affects veterans or a certain demo. You have no idea at times who might be having struggles.
No, I have
of all ages.
Yes, of all ages, and I've collected data from the coroner's office here in Crawford County, and by far more males than there have been 107 suicide deaths from 2018 through the end of June of 2025.
Wow!
So 107 people, 90 of which were male. A number of years back, it skewed toward older men and dying by gunshot wound. But right now, I mean, the demographic is ages 21 to 40 is what we're seeing. Still more men than women. Still a lot more by using a firearm to die by. But it's shifting. And I know there have been some recent deaths here in the local community in Titusville that people they're like, we didn't even know. Like, how could this have happened? How could we have prevented it? So the task force talked about that very thoroughly at our last meeting, and Tom Hancock, who has been a longtime member of the Suicide Task Force, and Amanda Goodnow, who also resides in Titusville, are reaching out to some community organizations so that we might be able to do some training with them on QPR, which is question, persuade, refer. And it's an evidence-based model of how to intercede with someone who is thinking of dying by suicide.
Would you say it's rare that somebody's going to show signs, or are they there if you look?
I think they're there if you look. One of the things when I do my QPR training, I talk about this 3-step model of suicide, for lack of a better term. But I mean, what you'll find present is some type of pain or suffering that's going on, whether it be a major embarrassment. I've known people that have died by suicide because they have an upcoming court date and they didn't want to deal with it. Physical illness, mental illness, there's some kind of pain or suffering that overwhelms a person's connections that they have in their life. So if there is the presence of this pain and suffering somehow, and it is overwhelming those connections, and when those connections get overwhelmed, it compounds that pain and suffering, and it makes them at a greater risk for suicide. And lastly, there is a means by which to die by suicide. If the person owns firearms, if you know they have been stockpiling medications, even just the mention of, like, things are going to be better soon, I'm going to be okay, could be a positive thing, or it could be that a decision has been made that this is what they're going to do. So interceding as we can, and in the Suicide Task Force, we talk about interceding in that connections thing, getting connected, making that emotional attachment to that individual that is thinking about this, and also working toward eliminating the means of harm. If you know the individual has guns, offer to hold them for them, offer to hang on to their ammunition. I lost a nephew to suicide this last November, and he had firearms readily available, and that's what he used. And had people known that this is what he was thinking about, they would have interceded. I mean, my brother would have gone and grabbed those guns and held on to them until he got past this turmoil that he was going through.
I was going to ask you, when you have, or when somebody has maybe helped in a situation. What's been the feedback from that person who was, you know, that close from pulling the trigger or doing something? Is it, man, you know, looking back, that was a mistake. I'm glad I had, you know, somebody stop me. Is there, you know,
yes,
again, if people could get past that
yes.
one moment,
yes,
there is that, okay, I should think about this.
And I don't know that I would frame it as a mistake, because at the time, I mean, there's a lot of shame and stigma associated with suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't know how to handle that very well in general. And the stigma associated with the thoughts of even wanting to end your own life can compound that disconnection piece. So it's I don't know if it was a mistake, but it was deciding that there was a better solution. And the sticking around part, even though it might have been hard to get through, I have not known anybody with regrets that they didn't follow through with dying by suicide. So, and the people that are helping too, I mean, they're glad they helped. It's hard conversations and it can get very intense. But if you love the person, or if you care about people in general, even as a crisis worker, it's worth that hard talk through.
You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
You have strong roots in the community. You may have grown a career, raised a family, and built friendships. Now you're ready to give back to the place that has supported you. But how? A charitable giving fund at your local community foundation provides an opportunity to grow your giving, invest in causes you care about, and focus on the joy of making a difference. Opening a charitable giving fund is easy. Give gifts that work best for you. Invest your charitable dollars in one of our portfolios or through your trusted financial advisor and watch your giving grow. In recognition of your generosity, you may even be able to prune your tax bill through charitable tax deductions and state tax credits. The Community Foundation tends to the administrative details while you focus on making a difference. Simply make grants from your fund to organizations big and small, near and far, and watch them bloom. As you consider community needs and opportunities, our staff acts as pollinators throughout the community and always knows the buzz. We can work alongside you to inspire future generations of givers and leave a lasting impact. Your giving is our mission. Together, we can meet the needs of today and plan for the opportunities of tomorrow. We are better together.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. When their networks get busy, calling and texting wins, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Mr. Ron Arnold with us here this morning, Crawford County Suicide Task Force. I think sometimes there are people that feel like, well, I care. Don't get me wrong, 100%, but I feel like I'm stepping into their personal space. What are some pieces of advice you would have for somebody who is questioning, you know, how much do I step in and ask, are you okay? And what are those things they should be saying to those folks?
If you suspect that a person is thinking of dying by suicide, ask the question. Be as direct as possible. Are you thinking of killing yourself? And generally, a person that is going to say yes. I mean, if they're thinking about it, they'll say it. This is something that we teach in our QPR classes. And you can go from there. I mean, it's like giving them that hope to hang a hook on, to stay around. Like questions like, well, you're not thinking about doing anything stupid, are you? I mean, not a great question to ask, because again, it's that shame and stigma thing, and that's just one more thing that's wrong with me, right? And it doesn't help so much. So be as direct as you can be. And if you are uncomfortable being that direct, find somebody who is, that can come in and have that conversation, whether it be getting in contact with a crisis line, having our local mobile crisis come out to assist, or again, a friend or a family member that can be a little more forthright about it. Ask the question. Persuade them to stick around, even just to get through today. And then you can refer them to professional help. But in the end, professional help is good for sorting some things out. But the relationships that make our life worthwhile is with the people that love us, right? So,
and it's not lecturing somebody.
No,
it's listening to somebody.
Listening, absolutely. Let them tell their story. And keep that conversation going. It's staying away from judgmental questions. Again, wow, that's really stupid. I don't know anybody that would think about that. That's crazy. That must be hard. That sounds so difficult. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on. How do you think I can help you? You know, those kind of questions. What can I do to maybe make things a little bit better? And there will be some pushback, like you can't do anything, I've decided. But keep that conversation going. It's not always easy, but in the end, it's worth it to have someone stay, because that's what we want. We want you to stay.
How much, and again, we were kind of talking before coming on, I know you just dive into as much information as you possibly can. You want to learn everything, but when you look at things, situations, is it money? Is it bullying, social media? What are you finding that people are, it's adding up in their head quickly that this is the only way for them to handle it? Or are there still a lot of situations that are unknown and families are sitting there going, we still have no idea why?
It's really hard to pinpoint. With older people, we found it's kind of that disconnection. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to have people worrying about me. I want to take care of this now. This is going to be on my terms. With individuals that are younger, things that we may have been able to piece together is that they just don't see themselves going on past whatever this is that happened, whether it be a breakup, a financial stressor that's coming up again with an individual I knew that was facing jail time. They were overwhelmed by that idea that they were going to spend time in jail, and this was their solution to this problem. I'm just not going to do it. And they ended up taking their own life. So, I mean, the reasons can be very varied. But again, it comes down to that overwhelming pain and suffering that overwhelms your desire to stay, right? And this is a solution. It's a solution to a problem. And they're not looking at it as like, this is something dumb. This actually makes sense. This is why I'm going to do this, because I want to end this, whatever it is. So, I mean, if you know an individual that's going through a hard time, talk to them and just see. And if there are any indications that they might be thinking about ending their own life, ask the question, are you thinking about suicide?
So in that situation, be direct by asking, but also be ready to just listen.
Yes.
Okay.
And let them tell their story. And it's not even about trying to solve their problems for them. Sometimes it's about processing through things.
Yes.
And you can get people to process through their own things just by asking questions, right? Keep that conversation rolling for as long as you can.
Once that process happens, and maybe they're talking to a friend, are they more willing to maybe sit down with a professional, or are they still hesitant to maybe do that because they just don't want to admit that they've had those thoughts?
Again, that's that shame and stigma thing. And I think the idea is to validate the fact that they're hurting.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to validate the idea that they want to end their own life, but you could say, man, I could see how you might come to this conclusion. There might be another way, right?
Let's talk about it.
Right. Yes, let's talk about it. And kind of keeping that shame and stigma about the thought of it over here and steering them toward that that help. And a lot of people they're still very, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and I'm just going to deal with this head on. But that talking with a professional, a good therapist is like a good coach. They're going to bring out skills in you that you may not know that you have that can help you cope a little bit better or make decisions a little bit differently than you had in the past. And it can be a very, very beneficial thing. And certainly, in my view, more effective than deciding to end your life completely.
I just, I have this image of, all these, like a long hallway with a lot of doors, and those doors keep getting closed, shut, and things are tightening. You could be somebody that could be opening some of those doors and having this conversation and asking, are you okay? Let's talk about it. And
yes.
Again, I think, as you said, Ron, that it's so important to do that and to give somebody, again, not a place to lecture. It's a place to just listen, go for a ride, be willing to just open your ears and hear somebody out.
Yeah, and be willing to be in that place where it may be uncomfortable. But in the end, it's a growth opportunity too. I mean, the better you are at handling difficult conversations, the better you are at coping in life.
Yeah. You mentioned the task force. Is there room for somebody to join if somebody's like, this is really important to me, I would like to help somehow?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook page. On Facebook, it's the Crawford County Suicide Task Force. Our email is on that page. It's crawfordcountystf@gmail.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. I'm currently trying to get everything that was once housed on a lot of the county servers and stuff and getting it into the cloud so that as people come on board, and maybe the next chairperson might be the head of the Rotary Club. We have to have a place to store that information. So I've been kind of working toward making it so that this can go in perpetuity.
That's wonderful. And again, you're working with groups. I would imagine if a service organization would love to have somebody come and speak at their groups, you could do that?
We are more than welcome. We're more than willing to do that, and you're more than welcome to ask. We have a number of members that are trained in the question, persuade, refer suicide prevention model, and we would love to come out and talk to your group. Take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to go through the information. Again, you can contact us through our Facebook page and crawfordcountystf@gmail.com.
Ron, it's great seeing you this morning. Great information as always. Love having a conversation with you. All the best to you, and we love to have you back.
Yes, absolutely.
So.
I won't be a stranger.
Okay. Thanks. Ron Arnold joining us here this morning. New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinched me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch, pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks ended higher on Friday, with the Dow gaining roughly 0.2%, the S&P 500 climbing about 0.6%, and the Nasdaq adding more than 0.4%. The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE, price index showed inflation ticked up a bit in August, pushing the annual inflation rate to 2.7%, which was in line with expectations. Meanwhile, solid U.S. consumer spending in August underscored the economy's resilience. But Brad Bernstein, managing director at UBS Private Wealth Management, said consumer spending is a story of what he called the haves and have-nots.
50% of consumer spending is coming from just 10% of the population, the top 10% income earners. So as we're starting to see some cracks in auto loans and certain areas in the economy that are representative of the more subprime or maybe creeping in a little bit of the prime lending rate categories, the high income earners, the top 10%, especially the top 1%, make up the vast majority of consumer spending, and that area considers to outperform. And that's what's driving the economy.
Stocks on the move Friday included Electronic Arts, which jumped almost 15% after reports that the company was in advanced talks to go private. Shares of truck maker PACCAR, which makes most of its vehicles for the U.S. market domestically, rose more than 5% a day after President Trump unveiled fresh import tariffs on heavy-duty trucks. Trump also slapped tariffs on branded pharmaceutical products. Shares of U.S. drug maker Eli Lilly closed higher. And 5 out of the Magnificent 7 mega-cap tech stocks closed higher, with Tesla leading the pack with a 4% gain.
Well, a quick look at that forecast. Sunshine to start, a few afternoon clouds. Very warm today with a high near 80 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight, a low in the low 50s. Tuesday, partly cloudy, upper 70s. Wednesday, the 1st of October, sunshine and 70. Thursday, partly cloudy, low 70s. Friday, partly cloudy, mid-70s. And you think, okay, well, are we done with the 80s? No. They'll be back this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week, 80s. So, yeah, not quite over yet. 8:38, this is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Vision Source has some really cool things coming up, and Kim's joining us here this morning. Morning, Kim. How are you?
Great, Luke. How are you doing?
Great. Kim, I'm going to have you introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are and a little bit about Vision Source.
Absolutely. I'm Kim Adsit. My husband, Chris, and I founded Vision Source Meadville. Oh, golly. It's been 30 years that we've been doing it now, so which seems impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, and it's grown from a very small little hole in the wall type mom and pop business into quite a great thing. So we have locations in Meadville, Titusville, and Oil City.
That's incredible.
Yeah, thanks. It's been really fun to watch it grow. It's been fun to be able to meet so many people over the years, and we just love our staff. And that's just a really wonderful part of it.
We were talking about before coming on how important it is, finding the right people and working with the communities that you're serving, because it's more than just we're opening our doors and come on in. There's a lot more to it than that, and you guys have a great philosophy on that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we really just love being a part of each of our communities and everything. The thrust of what we do really is to give back and give beyond. So, eye exams are important, and everybody loves a new pair of glasses or contacts or whatever. But for us, it's really important to be able to give back to each of our communities. So we have a lot of different involvement, whether it's just outreach in the community to working with other businesses or working with different foundations and being able to help others see what their needs are, either medically or the vision things. But we really just love being involved with the people around us.
I'm sure it makes you smile when you have somebody that comes back to your office and says, hey, thank you. That the pair of glasses I got, my student is now doing better in school.
Yeah.
Or I have a parent that's doing, that can now see this, or just whatever it is that helps you in your everyday life.
Sure, because, kids, talking about that, everything that a child learns, about 80% of that actually comes because of the visual process. So it's not just, I'm listening in school or I'm writing down my notes or I'm doing things. It's actually absorbing all of that through the eyes and then the process of that for learning. So, yeah, we recognize, it's not just seeing the board anymore either. It's,
right.
There's so much in between and everything else. So, we love being a part of that too.
And real quick, you got some great events coming up, but kind of lists those things, like if you're experiencing what, you should probably call and schedule an appointment.
Oh, yeah, right. So on the line of children, complaining about not being able to see the board, of course, is one of those things. But trouble reading. A lot of times that process isn't necessarily that the child actually can't read. It's that maybe they're not able to see things. And I'm not even talking about dyslexia, which is something that obviously we can, talk about as well. But the visual process, very often just that ability to track and read well has a lot to do with just not actually being able to see it clearly. So, yeah, if a child is struggling in school, an eye exam is really a great place to start. Of course, we're coming into hunting season, so everybody, are your sights good? Well, yeah, we can actually, we can talk to you about that too. But there's a lot of, health concerns. If you have any sort of other systemic disease, we're talking diabetes, high blood pressure, things like that, you should be having eye exams every year to evaluate. The eyes aren't separate from the rest of our body. They are part of everything else, and things do affect you.
Yeah, and there's little warning signs, too, that you might think, it's not... Because some people might say, well, you would know if you need to go to the eye doctor. Well, no, not all the time.
No, that's a very good point. And especially with kids, you assume that they can just see everything fine, and then all of a sudden you realize, I wonder why they can't hit the ball when they're, with the bat.
Yeah.
Well, it's not because they're not coordinated. They actually very well may have a visual process issue.
Or for some, it might be both.
There's a very good point, yes.
But schedule that appointment. It was funny because I was going through your Facebook page, and we'll talk about how folks can get more information about some of these things we're going to be talking about. But I know back to school is very important.
Yeah.
And you could be scheduling those appointments for what, June, July, August.
Absolutely. You don't have to wait for September when you go to school to be able to have your eye exam for school. And children's eyes develop and change very quickly. So what you're seeing in May when you leave school and what you see in September when you come back to school may be very different. Kids that are growing and developing quickly, their prescriptions change very quickly too. And it's not because they need another pair of glasses because we said so. They very often are needing a new prescription in order to see well.
Yeah, and then for adults, you're at an event and you see, parents or somebody going like this.
Yes, exactly right. I have mine right here. If I have to read, we'll be in trouble. No, it's really true. All of a sudden, you get to a point and your arms aren't long enough anymore, so you're not going to be able to see without the help of some reading glasses. And we have so many solutions for that. It really is something that easy to fix. And glasses are kind of cool now, so there doesn't have to be pride involved with, I have to put on my cheater glasses. It can be something you wear all the time that look really terrific and fit your lifestyle.
That's great. And the technology is incredible today as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's familiar with blue light protection on their glasses now, and when we're on devices all the time, when we're doing things, the exposure that your eyes and your brain have to the blue light and how that really can affect a lot of things. Blue light blocker on your glasses, the non-glare coatings, and the component, I shouldn't say coating, but the component of your glasses makes a huge difference in your ability to see clearly, see without the reflections, without the haziness. Yeah.
I'm just curious, when you were building the business, how important was it early on to know, okay, we need to find the right people? Because as soon as you walk in the door, it's a different experience. And so it's not just the doc, it's everybody, right?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you saying that. We love our staff so much, and we've always felt that having a staff of people with great personalities and the ability to communicate well with the people who are coming in as our patients, our customers, that we can, that's paramount. We can teach a person a lot of things about how to do a skill, but you can't teach a person how to be nice.
Yeah.
Well, you can kind of help them, but but so personal professional development is a really huge part of what we do. If you look at our Facebook pages, they're all full of the events and things that we're doing with our staff, staff enrichment. We have a lot of fun with that. But the training that we can give the individuals to make them help them know better about what it is to provide good eye care to people. Sure, we can teach that, but we are always looking for our staff to be just wonderful people, and we've really been blessed with that over the years.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations on just the growth and everything that's been going on, which leads to some big events coming up in Meadville and Titusville.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll talk about Meadville first just because it comes first. This Friday, that's October 3rd from 7 to 5, we are having a Clue-inspired trunk shows, we call them. So it is just, it's fun. When the patients come in that day, they'll receive a little packet of information, just like the clue board game. So you get a little packet that'll have your clues in it. And each room throughout the office is going to be a different room on the clue board. All of our staff members will be different characters from the game. And you, as a person coming to the office that day, will have the opportunity to try to solve the mystery. So it's our staff loves planning these events because it's a creative outlet. The theming of it each year is a little different, and they were so excited to do the clue theme. So
it should
be a
awesome.
lot of fun. We are still making appointments for both of these events, but so you can call the office for that. But yeah, you can see the gals were doing their shopping. We have the whole office will be tricked out. It'll look like a completely different atmosphere than just a traditional doctor's office for the day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we run a lot of specials during these events as well. So the big special is buy 2 pair of glasses, get a pair of sunglasses free. And we're talking polarized prescription sunglasses, which that alone is a wonderful thing to have. And that's a great thing to just as an aside to mention. If you wear glasses and you would benefit wonderfully from a pair of polarized sunglasses, because then you're still wearing your normal prescription. Polarization, especially while you're driving, is just a wonderful thing. The clarity of that lens, the depth you get with your perception of what's around you is wonderful. It's safer while you're driving. It's just nothing beats a pair of prescription sunglasses.
And it's one of those, if somebody comes in, they could take a look and test them. And okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we will have a trunk. The reason it's called a trunk show is there's a couple of vendors that we will invite to come along. So people that we already work with for the glasses and the things that we sell within the business. But we have a couple of specific vendors who will come that day, and they'll show all of their wares beyond what we would normally be able to present. So let's see, Vera Bradley, Life is Good, Ducks Unlimited, in addition to all of the brands we're already selling, Oakley and Ray-Ban and so on.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, it's really cool. So the deals are on all of that. And every pair of glasses that's bought beyond your first pair, with the prices that are already going to be fantastic, then gives you a further discount, plus, and again, a free pair of sunglasses.
Now, is that for the clients you have, or anybody can come?
Anybody can come.
Okay.
And if you have a current prescription, we would love to see you, and that's not hard to find, because when you go to the eye doctor, you're given your prescription. So, but yeah, you can bring in a prescription, and we can absolutely talk about that. If you don't have a current prescription, it's a great time to make an appointment, because we'll be seeing patients all day that day. So.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing that's coming up, a time change, and just to see better. And I can't tell you how many people said, "Oh man, just trying to figure out driving at night." And
right, and that's the thing too about when I talked about the blue light blocker and the anti-reflective, non-glare glasses. That makes a huge difference in your nighttime driving as well. Right, because you're not getting those. It's just terrible.
Right. Yeah.
And the older we get, the more we notice that. So.
Well, and I assume I know everybody's going to be having fun and it's going to be busy, but it's also a chance to talk to staff and meet the people there, right?
Oh, absolutely is. Absolutely. Everybody will be there. And the nice thing is about both of these events, we'll get to the Titusville one in a minute, but with both of these events, we have staff members from all 3 of the locations working at those events, because it's a very big and busy day. So everybody gets involved. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's great for the staff.
So again, the Meadville one is coming up this Friday, 7 to 5.
7 to 5, yep. So, and then for Titusville?
Yes, let's do this real quick. You're
Okay.
watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Vision Source Meadville, Vision Source Titusville having some big events coming up. The Trunk Show in Meadville. Clue Inspired Trunk Show coming up this Friday, October 3rd, 7 to 5. And now we transition to Titusville.
Yes. So Titusville, Vision Source Titusville, and we are out on 27 going toward Pleasantville. Would that be called Fieldmore Hill? If I remember from...
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway. So, yep. The truck show there is on October 17th, and this one is themed Wine, Cheese, and Glasses, Please. So the building will be set up as a winery for the day. So there'll be little stations and stops around the building that with little refreshments and just a very relaxed, and that's a nice fall getaway anyway, to go to a winery. So should be a nice, feel like you're on a little bit of a mini vacation for the day.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yes.
And that's coming up on the 17th of
It is
October.
on the 17th, and it's from 7 to 5. And again, we'll have two of our vendors will be there showing anything that they have on their glasses line. And I guess I mentioned before, Vera Bradley, Ducks Unlimited, Life is Good. Let's see, I will look at my notes. Let's see. Oh, we do have at Oakley and Ray-Ban and, many of the different just brands that people are drawn to. But so our staff will be there from 7 to 5, able to help. It looks like they're having fun already, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. We'll have 2 doctors working that day. It'll be Dr. Hawk and Dr. Espy, and they will be seeing patients all day. We have exams available, and it should just be, again, it'll be fun just to get some cheese. We have plenty of non-alcoholic wine for the day, the daytime anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to wine, you're always, okay, what does it pair with? Well, maybe a pair of glasses or
a
something.
pair of glasses. I think that might be part of the theme they were talking about. Yeah. No, that's a great way to say that. So.
And again, it's an opportunity to meet some vendors, just take a look at what's available. And as you say, the styles today are incredible.
Yeah, they really are, and it's great expression. Your own personality will show out in what you're right. And the fact that it's buy 2 and then get a pair of sunglasses. There's a lot of personality you can show with 3 pair of glasses, right? So it's just it's so nice to be able to see the diversity of your own style reflected in what you're wearing.
And again, a chance to talk to staff and get to know them. And, it's something we were talking about. We were talking about insurance before coming on. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because sometimes I think there is confusion, like, okay, well, here's what my insurance company is saying, and I guess, here's the list, and this is what I have to go by. But that's not always the case, is it?
That's right. Very often, you're being driven to a certain provider by what your insurance company puts on the list, which is fine and very good. However, very often the pricing that you're receiving from that insurance company is really the pricing you're going to receive with us already, or we actually are better, and especially when we're having a huge event like this, we have a lot of things to offer. So don't ever hesitate to call us, to reach out and find out a little bit more about that, because we very much are able to tell you, this is what your insurance company would cover, and this is what we're going to cover, and this is the comparison between the prices. We have our own lab. We make our glasses ourselves, or that so far as the lenses, we do all of that edging ourselves. So that it allows us to be able to offer so much to our patients.
And I guess the other thing is, if anybody has questions, they can call and talk to somebody, correct?
Absolutely can. You can call any of our offices, whether that's Oil City, Titusville, or Meadville, and even to reach out through Facebook. We do get messages through Facebook. People just will messenger us, and that's a great way to get in touch with us as well.
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking about school and whether it's kids or whether it's adults that might be struggling with vision, but really just the quality of life is so much better when you have that eyesight that allows you to get out and enjoy the outdoors or be part of something.
Absolutely.
Maybe talk a little bit about that aspect, because again, I think you do get feedback from people that say, boy, you know what? I am now enjoying this part of my life a lot better now that I can see.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times people don't realize that they actually aren't seeing clearly.
Yes.
You get so used to, adjusting to read something so much, and you think, oh, well, this is just how it is now. And then to have a pair of glasses where things are now clear and you're not having a glare, or you're able to read your phone without having to make the letters this large. And that's a very small thing, but it's quality of life. It does make a difference for you. Same thing with any outdoor activity you're having. You go to your kid's sporting event, but you can't really read the numbers on the back of their jersey. Okay, is that my kid or not?
Right.
Seriously, I mean, we can make a joke about it and make it sound, light and fun, but really, it does make a huge difference. You're driving, to be able to see clearly, to be able to focus well. Everything, all of your senses are better in tune when you can see well.
And we're talking a lot of times about those yearly appointments and making sure that you're sticking to those. But there's also other things that come up. Injuries. Maybe you poke your eye, or
Absolutely.
there's something that's done where. Again, that's a call to your offices as well.
It absolutely is, and we're to make that phone call and say, "Hey, this is what happened to me, or to my child," and we can do an evaluation and let you know: is it something that we need to see? Is it someone you need to see a different doctor for? But is it something that a very quick eye exam is able to say, "Yes, we can help you out a lot," and "No, you're fine, but here's what you might need to do next." And eye protection is important too.
Yeah.
Safety glasses, we do a lot of safety glasses for the industry in the area, but even for kids too, for safety wear while, if they're not wearing contacts yet and they are in glasses and need to be able to see well to play sports, that's another avenue of,
You mentioned hunting, but, people are getting out into the woods. Maybe they're cutting wood.
Absolutely.
And how many people aren't wearing eye protection and something kicks up, or they're doing something in their house, painting or scraping or whatever, and they're not wearing eye protection?
Right, and that doesn't even have to be prescription driven. Just having you should always be protecting your eyes. And, if you're out using the weed eater, please have on, right? You can't imagine how many people, a stick or a stone, that can cause a real big problem for you without just wearing simple protection.
Website, Facebook page, both. What's the best way for folks to learn more about Vision Source?
Right. A quick Google search of Vision Source Titusville or Vision Source Meadville will bring up our phone number, our web pages, and links to our Facebook. There's a bunch of information right there. Our Facebook pages that ends up being our first line of communication with communities, but our websites are great, and you can request appointments right on our websites.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And again, some great events coming up. Let's quickly touch base with those, starting in Meadville this Friday.
Yep, Meadville this Friday, October 3rd, 7 to 5. It's the Clue inspired, and there's prizes too that are involved in all of this too. And then at Titusville, it is October 17th, also 7 to 5. There's lots of prizes. We have drawings. We've had many community people donate baskets so you'll receive tickets at different locations throughout the office that day, place them in the buckets, and so we have a raffle at the end of the day. So there's lots of little things that make this not just a place to spend your money, but a place to have a great advantage with that.
But you're going to find some great deals and
excellent
of course,
deals.
The level of experience there that can help you with any of your questions.
Our staff can answer pretty much any question you'd have about glasses or contacts and help you to be able to make a great decision. And they're really good at giving advice on, wow, those glasses look fantastic. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. I was going to say the whole picking the frames, and you might like them, and maybe a spouse or somebody's like, let's try these ones.
Right. So, getting some feedback and some opinion from others. Yes. Can't imagine how many people come in and take a bunch of selfies, send them out, and it's fun.
Kim, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having us.
Take care.